Behind these glasses, it is with great sadness my eyes closely look and read about the terrible times Anne Frank, a bright young girl with a beautiful mind who died without knowing she would become a civil rights leader, had lived. Today we stand here at the New England Holocaust Memorial in Boston, Massachusetts. And from right here, we'll be covering a story of Anne Frank. Anne Frank was born on June 12th of 1929 in Frankfurt, Germany. She lived in Amsterdam with her family, mother, sister, and father, Otto Frank, during World War II. Anne was a young girl who has impacted the life of many, and her family flee the Nazi persecution of Jews. They went hiding in a makeshift quarter for almost 2 years. During this time, Anne Frank wrote about her experiences and wishes. She was 15 when the family was found and sent to the camp, where she died. Her work, though, the Diary of Anne Frank, went public on June 25th of 1947, and it has gone to be read by many millions of people. The harsh life she and her family lived was revealed in her famous diary. Her life and her family's during their time kept away from society is expressed clearly, thus revealing first-hand accounts of the Jewish experience during the Holocaust. Her diary is a story of hope, faith, and mainly love in the face of hate. Anne Frank is a civil rights leader whom today is still remembered, as there is even a place called Anne Frank Center USA, which has been renamed the Anne Frank Center for mutual respect. The diary she wrote to help her maintain her sanity and spirits during hard moments in secret annex, today many still read her story to find strength amongst them during difficult times. Society today also remembers Anne as a strong little girl and a role model, demonstrating the immense sacrifice humans can do for the hope to achieve freedom someday. How is Anne Frank remembered today? Well, it is evident how the life of Anne Frank, who wished to be a journalist and later on a famous writer, still impacts all of us today. It is heartfelt how Anne Frank's life must have been living at the camp in Westerbork, and the life of other Jews who lived in other camps. Our world is still impacted today in such a manner that, just as an example, we're standing today in this Holocaust Memorial. And it is important to mention that there are several memorials around the world, each with a primary mission to advance and disseminate knowledge about this unprecedented tragedy the Jews lived through, to preserve the memory of those who suffered, and to encourage its visitors to reflect upon moral and spiritual questions raised by the events of the Holocaust, as well as our own responsibilities as citizens of the democracy. This memorial just behind me, which was lifted in 1995, has a wall with a sequence of numbers, which are the registration numbers of the Holocaust victims. And I will take you now to this wall to show you some of the numbers. Right here behind me is the millions of numbers representing each victim of the Holocaust. Being a Jew back then, which was a terrible thing to be. Anne Frank and her mother are too being represented here, as many others who died during the Holocaust. These towers represent the 6 million Jews who were killed, victims of the Holocaust. In addition, since the Holocaust was considered a period of 6 years, it is also the meaning and representation of the 6 towers behind me. 1 million Jews is represented in each of the towers. Being a Jew was one of the worst things to be between 1933 and 1945. The cruel manner in which Anne and others were exposed to live with no sanitation and high exposure to many others infectious diseases made Anne and her sister come down with the typhus and subsequently died, which death would never take away the memories of Anne, an intelligent, optimistic, bright, young girl. Most importantly, Anne has taught us humans that even under the most horrific circumstances, we can achieve indomitable. Thousands and thousands visit this and many other memorials around the world that create awareness of the horrific situation these millions of people were exposed to by the Nazi. In particular, Anne will always be remembered as a symbol of what many lived through the Holocaust. The words she left behind through her own letters and novel she started called Secret Annex will continue to be read over and over again. Just like centers like this one, memorials like this one will continue to be visited many, many times by millions of people. Thank you.